Hey guys, welcome to class today. Mike Morgan here, your instructor. Today we're going to go over how to create mock-ups. And we're going to use Illustrator and we're going to use Photoshop to do that. So let's start in Photoshop here. So let's create a new file here. And let's just do a page that is 8.5 by 11. So right over here you're going to see 8.5 by 11. And I'm going to click OK on that. Okay, so if your layout doesn't look like mine, that's okay. You can choose a workspace. I'm going to switch this to default and it should look like this. So you might have your workspace set up to graphic or web and it may look a little different, but I'll put this in Essentials default and it'll look like that. Okay, so what we got to do to create a mock-up is bring in a couple things that we want to mock up. So I'm going to go to Google and pick a few things that would be cool to mock up here. So let's pick a couple things like a hat, blank hat. We'll probably pull up, and if I click images, just the images will come up. So we could use any of these hats here. And maybe I'll use this one right here. And I can hit right click, copy image. Go to Photoshop, hit edit and paste. So now I'm going to see my hat is here and it's on this layer right here. I can rename this layer hat. I just double clicked it to rename that layer. So if I want to make it a little bigger, I can take this move tool, press show transform controls, and it will give me this bounding box. Maybe I'll just make it a little bigger. Okay, so there's one item I want to mock up. Let's get another item. Let's see, so we can do anything we want, and you can do anything you want. Learjet. What about a Learjet? Okay, so we can, and it's easier if you have a straight-on view of something, but in Photoshop it's pretty easy to do angled views of things, but if you had a straight-on view, it's a lot easier. So I actually spelled Learjet wrong, but let's get a white one. Okay, so this is a nice side view of one. Again, we're going to copy the image, and we can hit Command V to paste it, or you can go to Edit, Paste. So there we got a Learjet. Okay, so another thing we can mock up is, move this down in size a little. Maybe a white coffee mug. The things spelled that one wrong too. The things you're mocking up do not have to be white, but just for showing you, I'm going to use a white one. Copy the image and Command V. So just so you can see what it's like to do something on a colored object, we'll do like a red one too. And I can hold shift and pull this up to proportionally enlarge it. If I let go of shift, it's going to distort it. Okay, so I'm going to enlarge it about the same size as the other one, the other coffee mug. So now we have a couple objects here. All the layers are right here to show you they're all in different layers. Now we need to bring in some sort of logo. So I'll bring in a couple logos here. I'm just dragging this from my computer, from some logo files. Let's see, so let's see if I have anything else that would work. This will give you a good example. So if you create your logo with a clear background, that'd be a lot nicer. So you can see this one has a white background. This one has a clear background. See how much easier that's going to be? So when you create your logo, you want to save it as a PNG. Export, quick export as a PNG. And as long as you have no background layer, you can save it and it'll create a clear background PNG. So this has to be turned off right here. You want to see this checkered pattern when you save your logo out if you want a clear background, because the checkers mean it's clear, it's transparent. Alright, so that's how you get this logo right here. So this one's not so good because it's got white. I'm going to see if I have anything else here with a clear background. This Red Dog Outfitters. Let's see if we got... You have to hit enter when you drag them in. So here's Waterworks Park, enter. That should be enough, but let me see if there's another thing here that would work. Give me a second. Okay, so there's Artist Glove. Alright, so we got a bunch of logos here. So if you're gonna put, let's just put one of these on each thing. So really, to mock it up, that's all you're doing. You're creating a mock-up here. So I got the Artist Glove on there. You could, I can unclick this Show Transform Controls, and then it'll get rid of the bounding box so I can see it better. But as you can see, you may want to arc things and use a little distortion to make it look like it's actually wrapping around the object. Let's see how that looks if we add some sort of arcing to it. So under Filter, I guess it's not under Filter. Sorry about that. So under Edit and Transform, you can do a lot of things with warping and distorting and things like that. So up here there's a feature you can hit, and it's kind of like a wrap mode, and you can bend this around, just give it a little bit of arch or arc to kind of emphasize that it's going around this mug a little bit. And then if I hit enter, it'll keep that. So now you can show the client that it's kind of wrapping around that object. Okay, so it would get a lot harder if I were going to use like this one. So you could do the same thing. Let's do a copy of it. I just hit Alt. So you could do the same thing. Let's say this was wrapping around. So I could go to edit, transform, distort, and then this little guy comes up here. Switch between free transform and warp modes is what that does. And again, I could just slightly curve this. You got to drag all these little nodes down, all these little points of intersection. So this is going to wrap around. And then we will take the eraser tool and erase what we don't want to see. So I'm going to hit enter. And then I know that I don't want to see, I can take my rectangular marquee tool, and I know that I don't want to see this section. Oh, I gotta rasterize this. See right here, there's an icon that means that's not rasterized yet. So you can take a paintbrush tool or an eraser tool, and that'll rasterize it. Now when I hit delete, it'll delete. So if you find out you can't rasterize it, you just take a paintbrush tool or an eraser tool, and you can quickly rasterize it. So I just took a selection and blocked out what I don't want. So another thing that would be good to use for this is the polygon lasso tool. And then I can go, this edge was not straight up and down, so I can kind of catch that angle. Okay, and same with this one right here. Okay, so if you wanted to show something to just wrapping around and completely disappearing, you could even take your paintbrush or your eraser tool and do maybe like a soft edge. And remember, if you hit shift, it'll draw a straight line. I clicked once, I hold shift, I click again, and it'll do a straight line to that second click. Alright, so that's that. But what's great is when you have just a logo that doesn't need any kind of messing with, such as this one. And hit enter. And then you can show your client that. Okay, so now we'll do, let's say, make this a Waterworks Park Learjet. So I'm going to grab the Waterworks Park logo. I'll just hit Alt and make a copy of it. I just hit Alt and drug with the mouse. I'm going to take this logo. I'm trying to grab this corner piece here. Always hold shift so you do not distort your logo. You do not want to distort the logo because it should be the same everywhere. I can hit Alt again and do a logo on the tail here. Now let's say the wing it wasn't gonna be painted on the wing here. You know, I could take the eraser tool like I talked about before. See, it's got that little cross, little circle and cross. That means it's not rasterized. So all I gotta do is click once with the eraser and hit OK. And just easily erase the parts I don't want. So now you got a Learjet, Waterworks Park Learjet. So this is a mock-up. And then very easy to see. Let's take this CIS 73 logo, and that could be just centered on the hat here if we wanted, and enter. So you have your mock-up for your hat. So that's what I want to see, is you guys can take something and make a mock-up. So that was making a mock-up in Photoshop. So for the next video, I'm going to show you how to make a mock-up in Illustrator. Alright, so let's go over to that.